When life breaks you, not if, when. Because it will. It doesn't care about your plans. It doesn't ask for your permission. It shows up uninvited, and it hits you in the mouth, hard. And in that moment, everything changes. The dream you believed in, it crumbles. The people you trusted, they vanish. The strength you thought you had, gone. You're on your knees, broken, shaking, lost. But here's the truth, that moment is the beginning, not the end. Because life doesn't break you to destroy you. It breaks you to reveal you, to test if you really want it, to show you what you're made of, to strip away the excuses and force you to fight for what matters. So if you're broken, go. Because now we find out if you've got the fire. Now we find out who you really are. When life breaks you, it doesn't send a warning. It doesn't send a memo. It doesn't knock politely at your door. It crashes through like a hurricane, like a freight train with no brakes. And when it hits everything. Your confidence, your plans, your identity. You wake up and suddenly nothing feels the same. The people you trusted might not be there. The goals you set might now seem impossible. You feel lost, helpless, angry. And for a while you think maybe this is how it ends. Maybe this is where the story stops. But what if I told you this is where the story starts? See, most people think pain means the end of hope, the end of effort, the end of believing. They look at pain as a full stop, a period at the end of their sentence. But that's not what pain is. Pain is the comma. It's the pause. It's the moment where you take a breath. Not because it's over, but because the next chapter is about to begin. When life breaks you, it's not destroying you. It's challenging you. It's calling you. It's stripping away everything that's fake, everything that's weak, everything that doesn't belong, so that what's left is something unshakable. Pain is the great equalizer. It doesn't care where you came from, how talented you are, how smart you think you are. It comes for everybody. And when it arrives, it doesn't ask, are you ready? It just shows up. And in that moment, you have a choice. You can fold, you can quit, you can cry, complain, blame, or you can rise. You can stand up in the rubble of your life and say, is this all you've got? Because pain is not a punishment. It's a process. It's life's way of asking you, how bad do you really want it? Do you want enough to suffer for it? Do you want it enough to lose sleep, to bleed, to crawl when your legs give out? Do you want it enough to keep going when nobody's watching, when nobody's clapping, when nobody even believes in you? That's what pain asks. And your answer isn't in your words, it's in your actions. When life breaks you, that's the moment you start building. You build not from comfort, not from motivation, not from good days, but from nothing. From ashes, from pain, from disappointment. You build with your tears. You build with your fear. You build with your loneliness. Because those things, those very things that most people run from, are the tools of greatness. They are not the enemy. They are the foundation. You see, when everything is going well, when life is easy, you don't grow. But when life punches you in the gut, when it knocks the air out of your lungs, that's when you learn what you're made of. That's when the truth comes out. Because character doesn't show up in the sunshine. It shows up in the storm. So if you're broken right now, if life just hit you harder than you've ever been hit, good. That means you've got a shot. You've got a shot to wake up, to shake off the lies, to step into who you were really meant to be. Stop waiting for the pain to go away. Stop praying for life to get easier. Start praying to get stronger. Start asking for wisdom in the middle of the chaos. Start moving through it, not away from it. Because pain is not the enemy. Fear is not the enemy. Quitting is the enemy. Doubt is the enemy. But as long as you keep moving, even if it's slow, even if it's messy, you're winning. There's something powerful about reaching rock bottom. When you've got nothing to lose, when you've already been through hell, when nobody expects you to rise, that's when your true power shows up. Not when you're at your best, but when you're broken. Because now it's not about talent. Now it's not about opportunity. Now it's about will. Do you have the will to rise from your own ashes? This is the beginning. You think this is the end of the road, but it's the start of a new one, a better one. One built on truth. One built on pain. One that will carry you through anything. Because now you know what it costs. Now you've been tested. And once you've been broken and rebuilt, you become dangerous. Not to others, to weakness, to doubt, to fear. You become the kind of person who doesn't run from pain anymore. You walk into it with purpose. Because you know pain is the beginning, not the end. The beginning of strength, the beginning of grit, the beginning of the real you. So stop running. Stop hiding. Stand up in the storm and say, let's go. I was born for this. You were never meant to have an easy life. You weren't built for comfort. You were built for battle. And somewhere deep down you know it. You can feel it. That voice inside you doesn't beg for ease. It doesn't cry for peace, but purpose. It craves challenge. Because there is something wired into the human soul. A fire that only ignites when everything falls apart. When the pressure builds, when the world turns its back, when the odds are stacked so high you can barely breathe. That's when the storm rises inside of you. You were built for that. Think about this. A ship is not tested on calm water. It's tested in the storm. And a person, a warrior, is no different. You don't discover your strength when life is good. You discover it when life is chaos, when your back is against the wall, when your heart is shattered, when every plan you had goes up in flames. That's where the real version of you gets forged. Not in the light, but in the dark. Not in victory, but in adversity. You were built for the storm. But you forgot. You forgot because they told you to be soft. They told you to play it safe. They told you to avoid failure, avoid discomfort, avoid pain. They raised you to chase happiness, not meaning. And so the minute the storm comes, you start running. You think something's wrong. You think you're cursed. You start praying for sunshine instead of learning how to thrive in the rain. But listen to me. The storm isn't there to destroy you. It's there to wake you up. Every storm in your life has a purpose. Every loss, every betrayal, every breakdown. It's not there by accident. It's custom, made for your growth. Because the strongest trees grow in the toughest climates. The deepest roots are forged in the hardest soil. And you were born to go deep. You were born to endure what others can't. To carry weight most people won't. To rise when others fall. But that strength, it's hidden. And the only way to unlock it is through struggle. You don't need a smooth road. You need resistance. Resistance builds power. It builds resilience. You want muscles. You lift heavy. You want character. You walk through heavy pain. Because strength doesn't come from what you avoid. It comes from what you overcome. So if you're in the storm right now, if life feels like it's falling apart, good. where you need to be. You don't need saving. You need activating. You need to reach down deep and remember who the hell you are. You're not weak. You're not broken beyond repair. You are a fighter, a survivor. You've been through hell before, and you didn't come this far to quit now. That storm you're facing, it's not bigger than you. It only feels bigger because you've forgotten your power. You were built to bend, not break. You were built to stand when the winds howl, when the waves crash, when everything inside you wants to give up. You were designed for that moment. The moment where most people would tap out. And you choose to keep going. You choose to believe. You choose to rise. That choice is what separates winners from victims. It's not talent. It's not luck. It's will. The will to endure. The will to suffer. The will to crawl through fire if that's what it takes. The storm is where warriors are born. And if you run from the storm, you run from the warrior inside you. So embrace the storm. Stop waiting for it to pass. Get stronger in it. Learn to breathe in the chaos. Learn to stand tall when the rain comes. Because if you can rise in the storm, you can rise anywhere. The people who make history aren't the ones who had perfect lives. They're the ones who got hit, broken, defeated, and kept moving. They're the ones who didn't ask for life to be easy. They became stronger than their circumstances. That's your path now. Don't pray for comfort. Pray for courage. Don't wish for the storm to go away. Train yourself to walk through it. Because the world doesn't need more soft people. It doesn't need more talkers, more victims, more excuses. It needs warriors. It needs people who know how to suffer, how to endure, how to lead through the fire. It needs you, fully awake, fully alive, fully committed. So rise up, step into the wind. Don't fear the storm. Become it. Let it sharpen you. Let it test you. Let it forge you into something unstoppable. You weren't made to crumble. You were made to conquer. And this storm, no matter how fierce, is just another chapter in your story. A story of resilience. A story of power. A story of someone who refused to be defined by pain and instead used it to become unbreakable. You were built for the storm. Now prove it. Success does not come wrapped in gold. It doesn't arrive with applause or comfort. It doesn't land in your lap because you hoped hard enough. It comes with pain. It comes with wounds. It comes with scars. Real success demands that you bleed for it. You want greatness? Then you better be ready to suffer, because nothing worth having comes without a price. People love the finished product, but they forget the process. They see the glory, not the grind. They admire the outcome, but they can't handle the journey. They see the champion with the medal, not the broken body, the sleepless nights, the countless failures that built the foundation beneath that moment. You don't get to the top clean. You don't walk into greatness untouched. You fall. You get knocked down. You get humiliated. You get overlooked. And in that process, you collect scars. Physical, emotional, mental. Those scars, they're not signs of weakness. They're proof of your fight. They're proof that you didn't give up when you had every reason to. They're reminders that you paid the price. Because success has a toll. You don't get to walk through the door unless you've suffered. Unless you've endured more than what most people would even dare to face. The ones who win. They're not always the most talented. They're the ones who stayed in the fire longer. They're the ones who didn't quit when it got unbearable. When the world said no, they kept going. When life slammed the door, they kicked it open again. Every scar is a story, and those stories matter because they teach you, they shape you, they forge the mindset of a warrior. You don't grow through victories, you grow through battles. You grow when you're stretched past your limits, when your heart breaks, when you lose, and still find the strength to keep showing up. That's how you build the kind of character that success demands. Not from reading a book, not from watching a video, from living it, from falling face first into the dirt over and over again and never staying there. The world doesn't care about your dreams until you give it a reason to. And that reason is your scars, your persistence, your ability to outlast pain. Anybody can start, but very few can endure. Because the moment pain arrives, most people fold. They think pain means stop. They think failure means, this isn't for me. But the truth is, that's the test. That's the door. And the key to that door is in how you respond when everything falls apart. Success isn't shiny. It's dark. It's ugly. It's lonely. You want to be successful? Get comfortable being uncomfortable. Stop running from pain and start learning from it. Because pain is a better teacher than pleasure ever will be. Pain sharpens your focus. It exposes your weaknesses. It shows you who you really are when the masks come off. Pain will teach you the truth. And that truth will either break you or build you. The choice is yours. You've got to decide it. Are you chasing comfort or are you chasing greatness? Because you can't have both. You can't sit in safety and become a savage at the same time. You've got to go through the fire. And the fire doesn't care about your feelings. It doesn't care how tired you are. It burns, and you either rise through it or you burn out. But if you make it through, if you let that pain mold you instead of destroy you, you come out on the other side with something no one can take. Resilience, discipline, power. People who've been through hell walk different. They speak different. They carry themselves with presence because they face what most people run from. They've been broken and rebuilt. And that rebuilding, that's where the scar becomes the source of strength. Every time you got knocked down and stood back up, you got stronger. You didn't just survive, you grew. You earned it. And that's why no one can take it from you. Don't envy the success you see in others. Understand the scars they carry that you don't see. Respect the path. Respect the process. And get ready to walk your own. Because if you want to be great, you have to earn your scars. You have to embrace the struggle. You have to stay in the game long enough for the pain to make you better instead of bitter. Stop asking, when will it get easier? Start asking, how do I get stronger? Because the truth is, the path to success never gets easier, but you can become someone who can handle anything. Someone who doesn't break under pressure, but thrives in it. Someone who doesn't just chase success, someone who embodies it. But only if you're willing to carry the scars. Only if you're willing to pay the price. When life breaks you, it shatters the illusions you've been hiding behind. The masks fall off, the noise fades, and all that's left is you. Raw, exposed, and real. That's when the excuses die. That's when you find out who you really are. Because when everything is stripped away, when you're lying in the dirt, when no one's coming to rescue you, your excuses don't matter, your reasons don't help, your justifications don't carry you forward. You're left with a single choice, rise or quit. Excuses are comfortable. They protect your ego. They let you sleep at night when you know you didn't give your all. They convince you that you could have won. the timing was better, if only people had supported you, if only life hadn't been so unfair. But when you're broken, there's no more room for those lies. The pain is too loud. The truth is too real. In that brokenness, the voice that whispers excuses gets drowned out by the roar of reality. You either fight or you fold. And this is where most people get stuck, because it's terrifying when you can no longer blame your past, your parents, your environment, your circumstances. It's all on you. The weight of that responsibility is heavy. But that same weight is the key to freedom, because the moment you take full responsibility is the moment you take back your power. And in that space where the excuses die, you are reborn. The truth is, life isn't fair. It never was. Some people start ahead. Some people have more talent. Some people get lucky breaks. But none of that defines your future unless you let it. The moment you stop using your disadvantages as permission to stay small, you begin to access your real potential. Because here's the thing, you don't need perfect conditions. You don't need validation. What you need is brutal honesty with yourself. About your effort, about your mindset, about how you've been showing up. Excuses are the chains that keep you tied to mediocrity. They make you a victim of your own life. And as long as you believe in them, you'll stay stuck. But when you're broken, when your world falls apart, you're forced to look in the mirror. And that mirror doesn't lie. It doesn't flatter. It shows you your weakness. It shows you your fear. It shows you where you quit, where you gave up, where you held back. And it dares you to do something about it. Excuses die in the presence of pain. Because pain is pure. It's honest. You can't fake your way through suffering. You either grow or you retreat. You either rise or you disappear. That's why brokenness is a gift. Because it removes all the distractions. It silences the noise. It forces you to make a decision, stay down or get up. When you've got nothing left to lose, that's when you become dangerous. That's when you start playing for real. Because there's no image to protect, no mask to maintain, no more pretending. You just move. You just fight. You just grind. And that's when the shift happens. That's when the growth begins. Not when things are easy, but when things are real. You don't need another excuse. You need discipline. You need consistency. You need to show up every single day, especially when it hurts. Especially when it's hard. Especially when you don't feel like it. That's what separates the ones who make it from the ones who don't. It's not talent. It's not luck. It's the willingness to kill the excuses and get to work, no matter how broken you feel. Because in the end, no one cares about your excuses. The world rewards results. It respects resilience. It honors those who kept going when they had every reason to quit. The champions, the warriors, the greats, they all have pain. They all had setbacks. But they buried their excuses and kept fighting. They turned their pain into power, their wounds into wisdom, their losses into lessons. And you can too, but only if you stop protecting your excuses. Stop feeding them. Stop defending them. Excuses might make you feel better in the short term, but they will destroy your future. They will rob you of your potential. They will keep you chained to the version of yourself that's afraid. Afraid of failure. Afraid of rejection. Afraid of the responsibility that comes with owning your story. So make a decision. Right here. Right now. Let this be the moment you stop running. Let this be the moment you stop blaming. Let this be the moment you stop making excuses for why you're not where you want to be. You've got breath in your lungs. You've got fight in your heart. You've got enough to take the next step. And that's all you need. You don't need guarantees. You don't need a perfect plan. You just need to begin. Without the excuses, without the lies, without the need to be comfortable. This is your time. This is your battle. This is your life. So get up, wipe the blood off your face, and go again. The world doesn't need your excuses. It needs your example. There comes a moment in every person's life when they have to look themselves in the mirror and ask, who am I when everything is taken away? Who am I without the applause? Without the comfort? Without the validation? That moment, that brutal, honest moment, is the beginning of something real. That's when your journey truly starts. Not when things are going well. Not when everyone's cheering. But when you're broken. When the lights go out. When it's just you and your pain. That's the place where warriors are made. You want to change your life. You want to be great. Then understand this life doesn't hand out greatness. It doesn't pass it around like a gift. It demands that you take it. It demands pain. It demands discipline. It demands resilience, humility, sacrifice, and above all, the refusal to stay down. Life will break you. It will tear apart your plans, crush your comfort, and force you to dig deeper than you ever thought possible. But that's not the end. That's the beginning. That's where the transformation begins. You've got to stop waiting for the right time. There's no right time. You're never going to feel ready. You're never going to have all the answers. But none of that matters. You don't need clarity. You need conviction. You don't need perfect conditions. You need commitment. You don't need the world to believe in you. You need to believe in yourself so fiercely that nothing can shake you. The battles, the losses, the heartbreak, they're not there to end you. They're there to build you. To strip away the excuses, to break down your ego, to reveal what's been hiding underneath all along potential. Real, raw, undeniable potential. The people you look up to. They didn't rise because life was easy. They rose because they refused to stay down. They showed up when they were broken. They gave more when they had less. They made something out of nothing. They didn't wait to feel motivated. They moved through fear, through fatigue, through failure. They understood something you've got to lock into your soul. Success is not about talent. It's about grit. It's about endurance. It's about getting back up after life breaks you and saying, I'm still here. You've been playing small for too long. You've let doubt take the wheel. You've let fear whisper lies in your ear. You've been waiting for a sign, waiting for someone to tell you you're good enough, strong enough, worthy enough. But you don't need a sign. You are the sign. You don't need anyone's permission. You were born for this. Every breath in your lungs is proof that your purpose is not finished, that your story is still being written. But it won't be written by chance. It'll be written by choice. By the choices you make every single day when nobody's watching. You either rise or you rot. You either grow or you decay. There is no neutral in life. You're either moving forward or falling behind. And every time you choose comfort over challenge, excuses over effort, blame over responsibility, you lose a little more of yourself. But every time you rise, no matter how broken you feel, no matter how tired, no matter how lost, you gain something. You gain strength. You gain character. You gain clarity. You gain it. So make the choice. The real choice. Not the one that sounds good. Not the one that gets applause, but the one that's hard. The one that's lonely. The one that demands sacrifice. Because that's the only choice that leads to greatness. Stop asking life to be easier. Start asking yourself to be better, sharper, more focused, more relentless. Because that version of you, the one who keeps showing up even when life is at its worst, that version is unstoppable. People will doubt you. Life will test you. And when it does, don't shrink. Don't run. Stand up. Stand in the middle of the storm and scream back. Let the world know. You will not break me. Let the pain know. I am not afraid. Let the failure know. I will rise again. Because you will. Because you can. Because there is a fire inside of you that no one can put out but you. This isn't just about success. This is about becoming. Becoming the person you were meant to be. Becoming the one who doesn't fold under pressure, who doesn't crumble in chaos, who doesn't let circumstances define their destiny. You are not your past. You are not your failures. You are not your pain. You are what you decide to become in the face of those things. And that decision, it happens now. Not tomorrow. Not when you feel ready. Now, the moment you stop blaming, the moment you stop waiting, the moment you stop saying, I can't, and start doing anyway, the moment you stop living based on emotion and start living based on conviction. You were not born to live a life of quiet desperation. You were not born to be average, to fit in, to shrink yourself to make others comfortable. You were born to rise. You were born to lead. You were born to walk through the fire and come out the other side unrecognizable. Not because life gave you permission, but because you took it. You earned it. So remember this, when life breaks you, it's not trying to destroy you. It's trying to reveal you, the real you, the powerful you, the unshakable, undeniable, unforgettable you, the version of yourself that was always there, buried beneath fear, buried beneath excuses, buried beneath doubt. But now it's time to rise, to let that version of you lead, to rebuild, to refocus, to dominate. You have what it takes. Not because someone told you, because you've been through the fire. You've been broken, and yet here you are, still breathing, still standing, still hungry. That hunger, that's the key. Feed it, fuel it, let it drive you. Because life's not waiting, and neither should you. Rise, fight. Get back up, break, heal, keep moving, keep believing, keep becoming. Because you're not done yet, not even close. And when they ask how you made it, how you survived, how you succeeded, you'll smile and say, because I refuse to stay broken. That's your power. That's your legacy. And it starts today.